When we think of the 1%, we think of Elon Musk, Bill Gates, and Warren Buffett, but they're actually the 1% of the 1%, and focusing on them is a waste of time.
Are you kidding me?
It's not because Bill Gates is secretly trying to kill all of us, or because Zuckerberg wants us to live in his stupid metaverse. It's because trying to be like them is a useless mental exercise that is actually going to hold you back from making a ton of money.
But Matt, I clicked on this video because I want to enter the 1%.
I gotcha. So if we're not trying to be like Jeff Bezos, although his gains would be pretty sweet, how much money do we actually need to make to enter the 1%?
Hey bro, thanks for meeting me here. I just wanted to catch up.
Yeah, man, no worries. You're looking good.
Oh man, don't make me blush.
So what's up? You catch those midterms? Man, totally rigged. Dr. Oz would have been
Yeah, anyways, I was just curious, do you have any idea how much money you have to make to enter the 1%?
I have no idea, man.
Game's rigged anyways. I'm waiting for that universal basic income, am I right? Come on.
In order to enter the 1%, you need to make $600,000 a year. That is $50,000 a month. The problem is though, the median household income in the US is only $31,000. This means that somebody in the 1% only has to work 19 days in order to make the same amount of money that the average person makes throughout an entire year. But hold on, before you say that's unfair and get triggered like most of people in society nowadays,
You did not just honk at me!
why don't you take a second to imagine what your life would actually be like if you made $600,000 a year? What exactly is it that you would do differently? Or more specifically, what would your day-to-day life look like? Thinking about this and imagining how your life would be is a fun mental exercise that can actually motivate you. But I'm not here for the mental masturbation of motivation.
Stay hard!
It seems like society nowadays loves to blame rich people and billionaires for society's problems, but the reality is only 6.5% of billionaires on the Forbes 400 list inherited their wealth. This means that if somebody has more money than you, whether you like it or not, in one way or another, they're just smarter than you. This shouldn't be discouraging though.
I'm pretty discouraged.
Knowing that you too can enter the 1% and there is nothing systemic stopping you from doing so, unlike what society would like you to think, the only thing that is stopping you from entering the 1% and making $50,000 a month is you.
Just 2 years ago, I was working as a barista, making minimum wage, living with my parents, and I was struggling to save money. I was totally unhappy with the direction that my life was going. But I got my shit together by starting a couple of businesses, and that has allowed me to build up a stock portfolio of $100,000 all at the age of 23. This allowed me to move out from my parents' place and get my own apartment, even though it's the size of a shoebox.
I quickly realized that staying at my job wasn't going to get me to where I wanted to be, nor was cutting all of my expenses. It turns out that the game you play is actually much more important than how hard you play it. Just down the street from me is my grocery store, and there are people that work there Monday to Saturday, grinding their butts, and they work way harder than me, but unfortunately, they're never actually going to get that far. So it's at this point that you're probably wondering how you too can start making more money, because at the end of the day,
You're broke! You're fucking poor!
but asking me or somebody else what they would do if they were in your position is actually a stupid question that far too many people ask. I can't answer that question because I don't know what your unique skill set is. I would tell you, yeah, just go play in the NBA and make $10 million a year. But if you're 5'5", that simply isn't going to work. So instead of telling you exactly what I did to get here, which isn't going to help you, I'm going to teach you 3 frameworks that helped me go from essentially $0 to $100,000 and well on my way to entering the 1%. Let's assume that you are completely broke. What are 3 things that you can do to work towards entering the 1% and moving towards that North Star of $50,000 a month? The first thing that you need to understand is that a job is not going to make you rich. Unless you are an extreme outlier working at a fast-growing tech startup, it is unlikely that you are going to earn a salary anywhere north of $150,000, and therefore you will not enter the 1%. Yes, the stock market will make you rich, almost guaranteed. The problem is you will not get rich using the stock market while you're young. And being rich when you're 65 really isn't that much of a flex because it took you super long, you no longer have your youth to enjoy it, and well, you kind of should get there anyways by the time you're old. The ultimate goal is wealth in our youth so that we can enjoy it and we don't have to wait super long for it. Now, this is not a get-rich-quick scheme by any means.
Risk disclosure.
But in order to achieve this, there is essentially only one way to do it, and that is you need to start a business. Once you understand that going to university and getting a regular 9-to-5 is not going to get you to that $600,000 a year mark, it totally changes the game game, and you start to develop a filter for what is actually going to get you there and what is not going to get you there. Okay, so now that you understand that you need to build a business in order to make a lot of money and work towards earning $50,000 a month, the next question is, what kind of business do you actually start?
What are you looking at? We all know OnlyFans is booming.
When I was in my teens, I always wanted to start a business, but I had so much trouble coming up with what kind of idea and what kind of business I could actually build. But that is only because I was thinking of it incorrectly.
I made a mistake.
I was trying to reinvent the wheel, which so many people try to do. Newsflash though, you don't need to be the one that figures out how to get people on Mars to make a lot of money. One of the best and easiest ways to think about starting a business is finding something that is already working, is already profitable, and just do it better. Just look around your local town or even products or services that you purchase and subscribe to yourself, and I bet there's one of them that you could execute better than what is currently being done. Whether you're more efficient, you have better marketing, or you can price the service or product lower, whatever your angle is, if you do something that is already working, it is very likely that with proper execution, you too can get it moving, and therefore you can make it profitable. When I started Lark Funding, which is a funding company for profitable traders and investors, we were not the first ones in the industry, nor were we doing anything massively groundbreaking. However, we are executing better than most companies. We have better customer support, we have a better onboarding process, and these things combined with an audience that trusts me because of this channel, we are now crushing it and very quickly growing in the industry. So from now on, anytime you hear somebody complain about anything, start to use that as your filter. If somebody's complaining,
You did not just honk at me!
think, can you turn that into a business? Can you solve the problem? Because all a business is providing value, and all money is an exchange of value. I encourage you to look at Alex Hormozi's value equation. This table here shows you that if you can increase the dream outcome and the perceived likelihood of achievement, people are going to perceive that as more valuable. On top of this, if you can cut down the time delay and the effort and sacrifice that is required in order to achieve that goal, you're also going to increase the value of that product or service, and therefore you can charge more money for it. The third framework that you need to keep in mind is that momentum is absolutely everything, and building up that momentum will likely make the difference between you succeeding or failing. Now, momentum comes in three different forms. The first is work momentum, which is just getting the ball rolling.
Once you have an idea for the type of business that you would like to start, the most important thing you can do is start building momentum as soon as possible. When I have an idea that I want to pursue, one of the most exciting things for me is buying a domain, setting up a website, and getting an email. By not putting it off and doing that as fast as possible, I'm going to ensure that the next morning when I wake up, I'm going to continue building off of that momentum.
Once you do have the ball rolling, the second type of momentum is revenue momentum. Sam from My First Million always talks about the importance of getting the first sale as quickly as possible. Even before you have a website or anything legit, see if you can reach out to someone you know, or if you have an audience, ask your audience, is there somebody that's interested in this? Because the faster you can get that first sale, the more addictive it gets, and it gets the momentum rolling. You get that first sale, you want the second one, and you want the third one, and then you just won't stop after that. Lastly, and the most difficult type of momentum is growth momentum. Once things are established and things are rolling, you're going to want to grow that business, and that can be a little bit tough because it's not always clear what it is that you need to do in order to grow. I myself have experienced this with Lark Funding. We're at a point where we're quite established, more and more traders are learning about us, but now it's time to grow. Now it is time to take over, and it takes a little bit more creative thinking than just setting up a domain, building a website. The executional part in terms of growth is a little bit more challenging, but it is one of the best and most important types of momentum. But don't worry, you only have to focus and think about this once the first two are already established. I started this channel by showing people how I used Forex to quit my job, and now I make videos helping broke 20-year-olds make money online. That includes Forex, investing, building businesses, and everything in between. So if you'd like to join me on the journey, hit the subscribe button, play the long game, and I will see you in the next one. Until then, peace.